For those of you who have stuck around on Twitch from the amazing Buffalo finals, welcome for being here, and congratulations to Constantine for an amazing run on Mikasa, and congratulations to Kyle. I believe this is their second regionals, and they've been able to go all the way on Devil Jin. Devil Jin quickly becoming a trading post staple character. I'm very excited to see where these competitors go in the future. But today we're here to do tier lists. We've got two tier lists lined up. I was considering adding some more in there, but none of them felt really worth doing. I was going to add a event tier list where we go for the regionals, but the fact that I've only been to two and you've only been to one that means that we're not really qualified to talk about the regionals. And then I'm going to put a content creator one up there, but I just feel like that's opening a can of worms if we're going to be critiquing other content creators that we're going to then get critiqued back.
True, but isn't like there's no such thing as bad press, and maybe it'll drive our subscribers up and get you closer to that 1,000.
Maybe it would, but I'd rather get there through my own for my own merit rather than just people subscribing to see who I insult next. Probably Tam. Probably Tam at this point. I've insulted.
And if you aim for the king, you best not miss.
I think I've insulted everybody else at this point. I'm gonna go down that line. But we're gonna go through all the champ cards that have been revealed this year and will become legal next year. And well, at this point, there may be some more in the works, but I think this is all that are owed outside of Kevin Broberg 3.
Yeah, I was about to say, did they reveal any over the stream this weekend?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think they'd reveal Kevin Broberg until next year's Worlds anyway, because it's, kind of, that's the kind of staple. I think that's the best way to do it, kind of thing.
Okay. I just didn't know. I didn't know how many we had left waiting in the wings.
I think we're up to date outside of Kevin Broberg if the website is to be believed. And then after this, we're going to do a product tier list of all the products from last year, grouping together the majority of the ones that came out at the same time. So, like the City of Wolves Legacy Retro t shirts, all three of them are going to be put into one because we're talking about the products themselves and how they're released rather than just talking about the individual cards and t shirts in them. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So, before we get into that, how's your week been, Cameron? I heard you've had a hell of a week at work.
Yeah, but the people aren't here to hear me bitch about work. They're here for good old Universus fun, not to hear about how I'm having trouble with my my employees.
We've got Steve in chat, who is the person I made the deal with for me to review all the cards, and they can't wait for me to hit.
Is Steve's real name?
Yes, Steve's real name.
Or is his real name Faust or Mephistopheles?
No, his real name's Steve. And yeah, I'm hoping to get there sooner rather than later, so I don't have to. The numbers can keep going up.
True. It is a race to the bottom.
Yeah,
Mephistopheles Steve is really gonna hold you to it.
Oh yeah, Steve is 100% going to hold me to it, and is probably going to be in here. Steve is also a member on the YouTube channel, so he does keep me in line, but which is kind of cool. And Steve, as being part of the Universus R&D, has helped me with next week's stream. So Cameron next week is going to take the week off, and I am going to be hopefully joined by Brody One, Response on Play, the Trading Post, and the Dobbers, while we do a big fat Universus quiz of the year, where we'll be going over cards from the year, events from the year, OP from the year, releases from the year. I am myself, R&D, and a few other people have put questions together over stuff that's happened over the year, as well as cards that have been released over the year, and I am going to be quizzing the teams about it. It's a play on the big fat quiz of the year that happens in the UK, and I just wanted to have some fun and do that there. And then I was trying to think of a Taskmaster-esque kind of role for you to do, but I can't see one where that you don't just sit there getting insulted for like 3 hours. So
that's fair. That's fair.
I give you the
I'm a
night
punching
off.
bag enough as it is.
Exactly. I'll give you that off, and I'm also going to kind of wrap it up by 11 o'clock our time, so that my partner can stream with their voice actors for the game that they produce. So I need to essentially have it a bit more streamlined than I was hoping.
Cool.
And Steve says, of course, it's going to be.
That sounds like a great show.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. If I hadn't already been like reached out to people, I'd have put us down for some 3v3 action because I think that format is going to be absolutely insane. For those of you
I'm so
who
excited.
for those of you who haven't seen that, the King of Fighters 15 cards were released. Cam and myself were part of Team Rival, and then we also had another 12 people over on Team Hero, and we've been able to see these beautiful cards. We've got the Air and Good affiliated Team Hero who are looking to clear their card pool, hit you multiple times, and really gain some momentum. Whereas Team Rival, the far superior team, have that control aspect, looking to slow your play, seal your board, lock you into an unwinnable situation. And then we also have the introduction of the coolest, hottest new five-hander in Dolores that gets to go form. I'm going to look at the top two cards of my deck, and I'm going to play one. Going second with her is going to be great because you can.
She's a seven-hander at that point.
Well, she's a seven-hander, and you also get to skip progressive. So if you find any foundation, you just get to play it.
Yep.
She,
I'm already working on Dolores and Hydern with a very disgusting strategy that I actually shared with one of the members of UVS Games, and they told me that that is disgusting, and they're proud of me. So,
well, you're gonna have to send me that at some point because I need more disgusting things to do with Dolores. But if you want to go check out
it's a quick 2-card combo that I think you're really gonna love.
if you go check out the videos, you can see how disgusting and amazing these decks are, especially Dolores's UR, which most people are hyped for offensively. I'm hyped for defensively. Equipment heist can get fucked.
Yeah. I think it's called Hedern, Helnir, something like that. I, I've got it on my phone. Let me look it up so I know what this stupid card's called.
So while Cam is doing that, we have got the what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 champ cards from the year. We will be also covering the assets because I didn't want to leave those out. But what's the name of the card?
Hadir.
Hadia.
And that is quickly becoming my new favorite card in all of Universes.
Well, speaking of new favorite cards, let's get into the tier list. So we're going to be ranking these purely based on how we think playability wise. The next event is Worlds. All these cards will be available at Worlds, and we can have a quick talk about the cards, where we think they sit, and how playable we think they are, as well as with the characters that I've already seen play, how playable they are moving forward, and how they've done over the year. So, speaking
All
of
right. So
people's
real quick, are we starting with the 2025 or 2026?
We are starting with them as they are in number order on UVS Ultra because I am lazy.
So is that starting in the
That'll
2025 or the
start. That'll start.
2026?
That'll start with 2026 because
Okay.
that goes
Like
number
I said,
four.
I just need to know where I'm opening this thing so I can look at stuff.
So we're going to start off with Yeetus Deletus, which has become quickly Connor's favorite card of the Dobbers. This is one that he adamantly says needs to be slammed into Water Godzilla immediately. This is a 2 diff 5 control 2 high block unique from the 2019 UK National Teams Champions. I know it's got Tim Keith on there, but I can't quite see who the other ones are. Do you have that one?
Lee Tatchell and Ricky Gopal.
Oh,
I'm
Ricky.
trying to like zoom this in as much as I can, and that is some really small writing.
I know Ricky. Ricky has got multiple these assets. Yeah, Lee Tatchell,
Yeah,
Ricky Gopal, and Tim Keith. And it says 2 abilities form. Add this card to your card pool face down. Your next attack is -3 difficulty and +3 damage. And enhance your turn. Remove. Add 1 card with a printed difficulty 4 or less from your rival from your stage to the card pool face down. Yep, Steve, we do love Ricky. Ricky is a really cool UK player. And
is Ricky
hands
the one getting thrown at the screen?
yes, and Ricky also
Ah.
just hands out one of their all the team assets to everyone at events. I don't know how many he actually has. So, Cam,
Yeah,
being the
this is
new player,
another. This is quickly another one of my favorite Universus cards.
any particular reason?
Um, well, for first, like I had heard Tim Keefe talk about it, and he said the form was just kind of so-so, and I
Oh
was
no,
like, buddy,
Lee is being for
that's
record, Steve.
uh well, I was talking to I heard Tim Keefe say that the form is just so-so, the enhance is pretty good. I'm like, and that form was what really got me like thinking about this card. That my next card gets -3 difficulty and +3 damage.
Yeah.
If anyone subscribes to me on YouTube, there's a deck profile on there for Zeke Yeager War Chief. I think it's titled "What Have I Done?"
Yeah.
Uh, but this card is one of the main reasons I built that deck because of how explosive it can get with some of the most dangerous high difficulty attacks in the game. And then the enhance I discovered with characters like Bui and attacks like Unyielding Destruction to just say, hey, you're going to go down to 3 foundations, you're going to lose your best, and I'm going to hit you with 2 double-digit attacks in a row. This card is nuts. And if you can find a way to like make your attacks not count towards progressive difficulty and then loop these in with equipment heist
Hmm.
and just be like, cool, my next one gets -3 difficulty, play it. I'll build another one in. My next one gets -3 difficulty and 3 damage, play it and build another one in and just keep going. This card is going to enable so many fun tricks, as well as being like a solid spot removal for some of your opponent's most difficult to deal with foundations. So like when Nine Titans was still a legally playable card, you could put Nine Titans into your rival's card pool and just say,
Oh
"Yep,
yeah.
you just get rid of that." So we could unban it, just give it unique, so we don't have to worry about it, and then also put unique on 3M. Just because Devil Jin lost doesn't mean you don't have to touch that card. I will kill on this hill.
No, it makes a lot of sense. The four difficulty card, like I said,
Yeah,
you
because
can
it could
hit
do
assets,
backups, it could do assets.
be
Yeah,
able to
this is a
loop it.
really good card.
See, my head just immediately went to things like adding it to your card pool, and then just finding a way to build it in with things like roundhouse and stuff like that because you get to just keep building face downs.
Yeah. Uh, any way that you can build your face, any cards from your card pool face up or face down, is really really cool.
Yeah, there's some weird kind of things. If you can build this, if you can build it in from your card pool, and then use things like falling kill, strike, greenie, key lift, and all things like that to just unflip it, you can keep popping off with that form.
Yeah, that's like I said. This is on top of uh what some of the like the King of Fighter stuff. This is another one of my like favorite build around cards for this upcoming year. I'm really liking it, and it breathes I think new life into at least the evil and water symbols.
So the big
Trying to
thing
find
is, it's like I said, it's evil, life, water. Uh, Symbols that are not really being built around at the moment. Devil would have to move to evil rather than chaos if they wanted to stay run this. Godzilla would have to move to water. You'd have to play Zeke on life. It's one of those that you're making that big sacrifice because this is not an attuned asset. So you have to kind of
no, yeah.
utilize that concept. And evil, especially evil, has not had the biggest amount of support in the last 2 years. I think there was 60 cards for evil printed this year, maybe a little bit more.
Possibly. I don't need
So
closed captions. Oh, okay. So, I don't know. He's not the one that does it. I know there was a King of Fighters character that could. Oh yeah, Mei Kun. Luckily, Mei Kun from King of Fighters does not share a symbol with Yeetus Deletus because it says if your character is committed, build one card from your card pool face up or face down. Form once per turn. So could you imagine putting it into your card pool? Your next attack is -3 difficulty
and
plus
then
3
build it
damage.
shimmer down.
Build it in face up and then do it again. But thankfully, they did not give Mei-Tin Kun evil, water, or life.
So where are we thinking of putting this is the big question.
Personally, I'd put it in. like S or whatever our top thing is, because this is the type of card that really tickles my brain meats. Uh,
But it's not about your brain meats. It's about the playability and
yeah,
competitive impact. And with the
I
symbols
do think the
alone,
symbols slow it. I do think the symbols slow it down, but
yeah,
I'd still put it in A because the symbols that can use this. Imagine this in Mimic with Unyielding Destruction.
yeah. But the one big thing is Mimic rotates soon, so should we be taking that into account?
If you want to worry about the World Championship,
I'm not. I've already started building on my decks with a post rotation. I'm not bothered about worlds. I was like,
well,
when I was seeing the
we don't
Bridget.
know. That is still part. That's still the biggest,
Yeah, I know.
one of the two biggest competitions this coming year.
But when someone was playing like Bridget at Buffalo and playing, they're playing the finger guns combo, I was like, I hadn't considered that because I'm playing post rotation at the minute.
Yeah,
But
I was hearing about the finger guns combo.
I'd say A. I think
Yeah, I could give it an A. I can give it an A.
you slap this
S
on.
for S for me, but this is still, it's got enough moving parts and enough flexibility offensively and defensively that I still think it's really, really good.
If this had been on air or chaos or some, or even fire because it gives damage, maybe you could see it go a little bit further. But evil, evil's really struggling. When we see Godzilla, we get an influx of evil life water cards. This can pop up, but as it stands at the minute, the symbols hold this back.
I will also say, like, it does have an equipment heist symbol.
Yeah,
So it still does have that potential to keep those strings going and add some needed damage to those
but Devil Jin
attacks.
never drops cameo counter just to play Yeetus Deletus, for example.
Maybe when no, because camouflage counter doesn't rotate because
Yep,
it's girl power.
exactly. That's that's the kind of thing of going. It's a really powerful card, but I can't see many characters ditching their symbol for it. I can see it's going into characters that are already, say, on the evil symbol, on the life symbol, on the water symbol, but I don't know how many of those are a thing at the minute.
I do know one that I'm talking to a one of my locals about. Smiling Titan
Yeah,
to
it's not.
give even more damage, and if you want to put speed on things, because we had just fixed up his deck to be playing 9 Titans, and then it got banned. I was like, well, you could still use Yeetus Deletus to give Rumbling -3 difficulty +3 damage, and then plus another 7. It's a 20 damage attack at that point.
I think at that point you need to pump the speed rather than damage. But yes,
Not if your rival loses all their foundations or all their hands.
if your rival is losing all their foundations to unyielding destruction, at Spartan, you're kind of
No,
also.
not in Yielding Destruction, the Rumbling.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Other hand, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
the
sense.
one that says you discard 3 or lose all your foundations. If you've only got 3 cards in your hand, either way, you're probably taking 20.
That's fair. That's fair. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's move on to card number 2. I forgot what the order is. This is going to be quite interesting. Jacob Johnson, the man in the chair. 7 hand size, 21 health. Response after you block with an action, build it face down. This attack gets +2 or -1 speed. Sacrifice 1 foundation. If an action was added to your discard pile this way, draw 1 card and build 1 card from your hand face down. Evil Good Water. This is an absolutely solid character. I know UK versus R&D have been very hyped about this card because the symbols give you access to Airy Smile, give you access to Referee Jury, give you access to a lot of very cool actions that are still on the minute with things like I Am Here and Teamwork,
Gives you access to high spirit awareness.
High Spirit Awareness. Yeah,
It's a foundation that says rivals turn flip, add 1 face down card from your stage to your hand. So you can block with Airy Smiles, respond with Airy Smiles, build it down. On their next attack, flip high spirit awareness, pick up the Airy Smiles, block with Airy Smiles, respond, build it down. And you can just keep
exactly.
looping your blocks.
Exactly, you get a lot of very cool things. On the evil, I believe Showdown has evil. You get to just do
Yep, Showdown has evil.
you get to do the same thing there. Referee Jury, just be able to go, cool, I'll take 4. I'll build this down. It's and then
I like this. I like this with Drive Parry and Burnout
mm,
because they're both a +1 or a +0 mid. Drive Parry allows you to ready foundations when you play it, and Burnout allows you to commit a foundation or spend a momentum to force your rival to commit one card in their stage. So if you can loop these with like high spirit awareness and you can keep looping your blocks, you can either tap down more of your rival's cards or you can keep readying stuff to continue your own defense. And those have the infinity symbol, so you don't have to worry about what symbol you're on.
Exactly. And the fact that you get to build a card from your hand face down means you can utilize a lot of outwit, although it doesn't exist on these symbols. Things like
Yeah.
Titan's Injection, the fact that you don't have to play, you can play around that high cost, you just get to build it immediately face down and keep yourself alive. You can cheat in things like Massive Mutant Machine and other things in and just go, cool. Here's a unflipped card that like Rini or Falling Kill Strike, and boom, I now have a Massive Mutant Machine in my stage. Get wrecked. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a,
Absolutely.
it's an absolutely solid character with great utility. I don't know how impactful -1 speed is, but on the evil symbol, incubating is going to still be around for another year. So
Yeah. Um, I think that is mainly for the 2 speed. I think you usually use this for 2 speed and to rebuild your stage and to cycle through your hand. I don't know if you use this enhance on your rival's turn, unless you're just popping face downs that are committed in order to rebuild your stage defensively.
yeah, it allows you to filter those. If you've got an equipment heist in hand that has no block modifier that you might want to pick up later on, or you've got other cards that you just aren't doing anything for you at the moment, you're essentially storing them and looking to pick
Yeah.
them up later because you can still pop off
Oh
and
no,
do.
because that's gonna cycle as well. Because the one challenge that Jacob's gonna have is cycling, is the rotation. That is gonna kill over half of his action block that he
But
can play.
like you just said, we're not considering post rotation because we still have worlds, and Jacob Johnson is going to be very strong walking into worlds.
True, very true. Because he also on evil gets access to overhaul cards,
Yep.
which deals with face down cards and maybe playing them from your stage as your next form, or unflipping them, or destroying them, or just having more face downs than your rival. So
Yeah.
that could be a very useful row to keep for.
Exactly. On evil, on water, you get access to a lot of the card pull stuff that you can kind of utilize. There's still very good actions in there. There's some very cool things that you can do. Uh, yeah. Um,
The only trouble is, like, I'm looking through the actions. A lot of these are just mid blocks. so, so you're
but
gonna be taking
that's the
a
idea.
lot of partials as a
But
seven-hander.
that's the idea of building down, isn't it? You blow up a face down foundation. That's an action. So you've built it down or you've blocked, and then you
Yeah,
get to do it. On
yeah. I
evil,
do like the ability to block on to clear your card pool defensively. I
yeah.
really do like that.
On evil, you do get twisting surroundings as well, which allows you to change the zone.
True.
And it's got its own cool little breaker that if you can find ways to build it in, you can utilize some assets as well on there. That's kind of where like my conversation's been going. More people have been looking at the ability to build anything face down because if you can say build a twisty surroundings face down, then utilizing a backup like Reedy, who has first enhance, flip a foundation, unflip a foundation, you could unflip the twisting surroundings and go, now you're in trouble.
Yeah, I do like that ability to store some things face down. Uh, and like you said, you could build in Titan Injection as a seven-hander that probably can't afford to take too many big hits. Being
Yep.
able to be left at one for one of those and be like, "Yeah, you thought you had me, but you didn't. You got another one in you,"
Yeah.
is a really good concept.
It's very like cool that Jacob has this kind of in-game techie kind of vibe to the cards whilst also having this mage kind of like look with the robe. Uh, because they have kind of got this Zekai power of but infinite storage. They just get to store cards where they get to loot. They get to just have this kind of aspect. For me, I wouldn't put them in S purely because it's still a squishy 7-hander that can get blown out. -1 speed against Devil Jin or Mikasa or Bridget is doing nothing, and 21 is very doable on these early turns. If you don't get a very good aggressive building, you don't, like you said, you don't see the block zones, and you're just going mid, then Devil Jin's just going to completely stomp over you.
Yeah. Uh, Although like on water, you get water attuned, you get grounded. Flip changes thing to a low. You do get well,
But with Roman
fourth
Cancel,
wielder
people
danger
are able
sense
to
is
change those
issue.
back.
True. Well, fourth wielder danger sense isn't an action, so that's not really
Yeah,
mattering.
that's my only downside.
I'm just trying to find way. I'm trying to find ways that you can like change the zone to make stuff more blockable.
You need to use twisty surroundings, but if your opponent does it before you, then yeah, it's also taken off the board. It's
Yeah.
one of the aspects control really suffers from in our game. Everything needs to go perfectly for you, and as you said, a lot of our actions at the minute are mid blocks, and a lot of people are not bringing mids. I think at Buffalo, the majority of people were playing no mids, high lows, all the way down. So people were kind of respecting that in the block aspects as well. So that's the only kind of downside I see to Jacob Johnson of this is a squishy character that is relying on mid blocks.
Yeah, that is kind of tough. Um, I'd put him in either low A or maybe high B. I think he's definitely going to be a puzzle that people are going to try to crack. And if someone can crack that code, I think he's going to be really good.
I'll put him
But
in B, and if anyone complains, I'll send them your way.
okay, because like you said, you want to block with actions, but a lot of actions are mid blocks. So if you don't have a way to either change your rival's zone or take no damage on a partial, you're going to be taking a lot of partial blocks, and that's going to really suck.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to play this. You almost have to play like this. I'm going to build in all my blocks, and I'm going to kill you on the backswing. I'm going to equipment heist. I'm just gonna load off and hope that I played a bunch of like drive parries or burnouts to tap down your whole stage, and then I'm gonna be just a backswing character.
yeah, and
Uh,
that's kind of thing. But if they get a bad first turn build, if they only see all the mids, if they see a handful of actions against a like still going with the Bridget, the Mikasa, the Devil Jin, if they see 3 foundations, 4 actions, that -1 is doing nothing to those decks, and those 3 foundations are not going to be enough to keep it to block and keep you alive. Well, 4 foundations after like the first block, you may just get outpaced on the first 2 attacks.
yeah, that's the trouble. So I'd say high B,
I mean, I
would be
think
pretty
if this was
good.
a retro list, Jacob goes a lot higher because retro has some dumb actions that he can do some dumb things with.
Yeah, and it's funny because this is very coded to a character that Jacob Johnson played against me in a retro tournament called Metal Man. That was
Ah,
all about building his attacks that he dealt damage with face down, and then like picking him back up. And he threw like 12 attacks in a single turn at me at one point on like 2 foundations. It was insane.
that's
Uh,
pretty cool.
I yeah, I don't know if I should have won that match, but I got kind of lucky.
That's me at
So
Glasgow. That's me at Glasgow. I did not deserve to win that, but my trophy has arrived. My Michelangelo statue, because I didn't want to bring it back with me. But anyway, so Jacob Johnson goes into the B tier. Let's see if anyone else can get higher than that as we go into Back to Ordinary, the 2019 World's Team Championship. 2 difficulty, 5 control, unique with response. After you play the third attack this turn, after you play your third card this turn, add 1 action from your discard pile to your hand. Your rifle may remove 1 card from their hand to cancel this ability. I just noticed that's a 5 low block. Enhanced to.
yeah, I was told that they wanted to do something for like I think it was like Genkai
Okay.
because one of the people liked Genkai, so you could discard it for +5 damage or -5 damage.
And then enhanced tenacious remove. This attack gets plus X or minus X damage. X equals the number of cards in your rival's removed from game pile maximum 5 makes me sad. There, you should be rewarded for causing your opponent to do that so much.
Or to make them cycle.
Yeah, and then all evil void. Void. This is so good in void.
Yeah, I think this is a very good card to play in Evil Jacob Johnson. I mean, obviously he's on the card,
Yeah,
but just being able to say, "Hey, do you want me to pick up this barrier shield, or do you want to get rid of a card in your hand?"
yeah, no. Give it.
Also, 2 Rodan symbols with a +5 block.
Yeah, I mean, just going on like
It's done.
on your turn two, just going attack, foundation, pick up Genkai's,
Or barrier shield
barrier
on 2 of these
shield.
symbols.
On evil, just going okay.
Pick up a showdown.
No, no, I guess I have a bad turn. I'll just do a build turn. I'll play for 3 foundations. Oh, can I pick up this equipment heist? No. Like, let me pick up equipment. No. I
Yeah,
can
that's rough.
I can see this getting a home in Sun Jin Woo, just going cool. I'll play 3 cards and pick up a grinding overtime, then level up and build it in. Like what? Yeah.
Yeah, I could see this in. I don't know if I could see it in Devil Jin, just because you don't want to put too many assets in. But like I said, this is going in Rodan.
Yeah.
This is going in Rodan so quick. It's not even funny. Just +or -5 speed on 2 symbols. Plus, it's like, hey, do you want me to get this barrier shield or this other action that I could be using to hurt you? No, then get rid of a card in your hand, sir.
It can go with evil mimic for a little
Also,
bit.
also 2 symbols for Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Now that the snipey dagger card is gone.
Yeah, but Ghidorah's
Or was
kind
he
of
using the
dead.
snipey dagger card?
Ghidorah is Megalomania kind of killed Ghidorah.
Oh yeah, Megalomania. I forgot about that
Megalomania
card.
is hey, don't forget about don't sleep on Megalomania.
Nah, I forgot about that card. That's fine.
But I think
Who else would want
I
to
think
play
this is a kind
this?
of because it's just after you play your 3rd card this turn, so you can even trigger it defensively. If you start off with this and have to block 3 things, so like at the minute, if you went into on void, if you went into a barrier shield, rejuvenating smash, draw 2, heal 2, play your 3rd card and turn and go cool. I'm gonna pick up a card. I'm gonna pick up an action from this guy. It could be a Genkai's. It could be like you said, any equipment heist ready to go on my next turn. And like, cool, do you want to go down a hand size on
Oh,
your turn?
defensively, you could pick up Filled with Doubt if
Yeah,
you know your rival's gonna try to string long.
you can pick up. You can go fill it out. I think the main thing is to apply pressure on your opponent to make them remove a card from their hand. Now, if
Yeah,
you
on defense, you can pick up Airy Smiles.
you can pick up an extra. Sun Ji Woo, like Assassin, has a great matchup into here because you can just remove XP cards from your hand and trigger their abilities to draw cards or build things committed. Because we've not had a way for him to use those cards, use those
Yeah.
abilities, but now he can with this beautiful back to ordinary.
Uh, you do know this says the removed cards in your rival's remove pile, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're playing
Uh,
against Sun Ji Woo, is what I'm saying. If
oh,
I
if you're playing
Yeah, so
against,
if
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
you go, oh, I'm going to pick up this action card. It's like, cool. I'll get rid of item menu and draw a card. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay.
yeah. Defensively on evil, this can pick up Runaway,
Oh god, yeah.
so
Uh,
that's kind of cool. I'm trying to look through characters that might want to run this.
I'm
Huh.
not sure. I think forcing surrender is. I don't think it shares a symbol.
Forcing surrender? No, because that's air, death, earth, or
Fire. Well, no.
fire, death, earth,
But
something like that.
I'm trying to think of ways that you could, like you said, you could put runaway in your card pool. You could use the ability, clear it, then pick it back up with back to ordinary when you play your 3rd card. Going, you want to do it again?
Yeah, you absolutely could. I'm willing to take printed damage.
I'm willing to put this in S. I think this goes as a one of into pretty much any deck with a symbol.
Yeah, I'd consider putting it into S if just so we're seeing a bit of a resurgence with Rodan, and just having this +5 block on 2 of Rodan's symbols that can also pick
Oh,
up some of its best defensive action pieces
yeah.
just for playing the game that he wants to play is just disgusting.
And this has a
And you
great.
might see some play in Ghidorah with removing cards from your rival's hand, because isn't there a foundation
I think the
from
foundations.
Ghidorah that
I
removes?
think the foundations make them discard. I think try gravity beat makes them remove.
No, monster 0.
Ah,
Your turn remove. Your rival removes 1 card from their hand. If they have 8 or more foundations, this attack gets +3 damage.
it's also just a good card to have against Rhoda, Nick Reagan, Ghidorah, because you go cool.
Yeah.
One of my attacks is going to get +5 damage.
Yeah, +5, or one of yours is gonna get -5 if I absolutely need to survive this turn.
Exactly. That's a great way to look at it as well. Just and
And again, equipment heist on evil, so you can just keep building these in for +5 or -5 damage across your
I don't
strings
think you can
if you
build.
don't
I
have.
don't think equipment heist is that much that you can build it for removed.
No, but you can build ones that you already have in your discard pile
Okay,
to remove for the
and deck.
+5.
Don't forget equipment heist such as the deck. It's a dumb card.
Oh, yeah, that too.
But yeah, I think Impact Order Goes definitely is our first S. Just I mean I'm biased. I played Struggle with Studies in every single deck for 3 years because play my play my third card, pick play my third after I play my third block, pick something up. This goes cool. Play third block, and he's still coming at you. Give them a reason to stop.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let me see real quick. Rodan, Genkai, Gentle Criminal doesn't care. It is Edge Shot. All right, cool. I was just looking at other characters that cared about block modifiers on these symbols.
that's fair.
So any character that comes out on these symbols that cares about block modifiers being high, this could be a really good card for them too.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to be in Zilla yet, but we know Rodan cared about it this time, so maybe Rodan will care about it next time if they're in the set. But let's move on to the errated champion. I believe it's now twice per turn.
Nick Reagan,
Yeah.
yeah.
5 hand size, 33 health, quite low for a five-hander, which is quite weird to say. Air, all fire, and just a chunk of text. Remove the top 8 twice per turn. Remove the top 8 cards of your deck. Your attack gets +2 speed, +2 damage. If it was your rival's turn, ready 1 foundation with the same name as a card removed this way. If it's your turn, you may play 1 enhanced ability on an attack that was removed as the next enhanced following all restrictions and paying all costs. So you can't play combo abilities because you don't have the combo keyword.
Sure.
You can't utilize character abilities or enhance ability. You can't use character abilities or symbol abilities or team abilities or any kind of things that Nick Reagan doesn't already have on there. And of course, if you're utilizing things like hate fish and you use the next boost you get would be eaten by Nick Reagan themselves rather than being eaten up by whatever Nick Reagan gives you access to. So it's a lot of work went into this card and making it as balanced as it was. And then even after that, it was still very abusable thanks to cards like True 100%.
Yeah, a lot of work went into trying to make this fair because it's modeled after one of his favorite retro cards,
Yes.
which also got eroded because it had an infinite damage boost.
Ooh.
Yeah, for anyone who wants some homework, look up the card Technical Sphere
Yes.
and tell me why that card was eroded.
So
After errata, I'd probably put Reagan in B,
I mean,
mainly because he has lost the twice per turn was a hit, but he also lost like sweeping daggers and some things that are a lot of other. What else did he lose? He lost something else I thought in another ban list. I cannot
possibly,
remember.
but I mean, he's still making himself known. We saw Nick Reagan on the stream yesterday, was able to go toe to toe with other characters. The true 100%, and even with like the increasing blitzes, we've been able to see a lot more cards coming in for Nick Reagan, like Tyrant Rave and stuff like that, which are going to absolutely pop off. Even if they don't have enhancers on them, they're still getting played. I think that's the biggest thing Nick faces now is that enhancers are kind of gone from attacks. So every year he's going to get a little bit weaker.
Yeah, unless they completely remove everything but keyword ability enhances, like powerful or
Yeah.
EX. Uh, which I mean, he could maybe splice a powerful ability on a throw, perhaps.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's not what the intention was it?
no. Um, I'll be honest. I know people cooked with Nick Reagan, and he was a big meta problem. I never really had an issue with him. I don't know if that's just the people I was playing didn't quite know what they were doing, or they just had bad luck because you still are a five-hander,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just get outbuilt and run over. And maybe you get a bad remove on your eight. Having to run like 30 or 40 attacks can really hinder your checks sometimes. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He was obviously strong enough to get eroded, and I think he's the first champion of recent memory to get eroded because I do remember Tim
Yeah.
Keefe 2 also received an errata, and I
Since
believe
the
Kevin Broberg
since like the
2
rebrand,
also got
he's
eroded.
definitely the first one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was he was an absolute menace at the top, and I think Let's Talk UVS went into Albuquerque with the intention of getting Nick Reagan errated or banned. Uh,
yeah.
I haven't got the heart to put it below B, just because I know,
No, I
just because of
I
how the
think
year
I think
started.
it's still B. This guy can still cook.
No,
I think it's still B. You can play both of the new pseudo reversals in him,
yeah,
so you can get that +2/+2 on your rival's turn and then ready
no,
something.
you can't because the card specifically says if it's your turn or your rival's turn.
It says you still get the +2/+2. It's just on your
Yeah,
rival's turn, you ready a foundation with the same name, so you could ready up on your rival's turn in order to continue uh
you don't you just don't get the
your
enhanced
string of
ability. Yeah,
defense.
so you can get
Yeah, yeah,
you
you
can
get
ready
the
one.
enhanceability on your turn, but not theirs.
Yeah, you still get the 2/2. So you make Ariel Kokosho a
8
eight
high 9.
seven,
8 9.
8/9,
You can make it an 8 high 9 and
an 8/9.
possibly ready a foundation.
So if it's an eight
Don't do it.
nine in your opponent's turn, what's it in your turn?
4/7.
No.
Nice try. Nice try.
Actually,
Moving on.
if you were Nick Reagan,
Moving
it'd be a
on.
6/9. You played yourself.
Now he'd be an 8 9 because he gets the +2 speed.
Yes, it'd be a six. This would be a 6/9
And it
in your
gets
turn. You don't get the two speed unless you're playing it as a river, unless you're playing it as a drive. You could
true.
still get it in
So on
your turn,
our turn is 6 9. If we wanted
unless
to
your
do that,
opponent's
yes.
blocked. But anyway,
I'm saving those for my rival's turn so I can just chuck 10 plus damage at him.
I'm doing that with Bridget. But anyway, now a question that's probably come up quite a lot in the unfun like sleepovers: does Nick Reagan go on top or below Jacob Johnson?
I'm going to say below, and hear me out. The more sets we get are more chances for actions. So I think Jacob Johnson will only get better. Whereas Nick Reagan, if we continue to not print enhances on attacks, Nick Reagan's only going to get worse in standard. So I would say move if we're talking about moving forward, I'd put Nick Reagan below Jacob Johnson.
Did I not do Yeetus the staples?
I don't know. I can't see.
I think I messed one up.
Rutro, you're supposed to be the professional between the two of
I
us.
am. I think I put one in the wrong place. Let's have a look. Yeah, I did. I put Cardboard Crusaders instead of Yeetus Delius. I'm an idiot.
Cardboard Crusaders. Oh, yeah.
Boop, boop.
That'll be
There we
one
go.
that we come up with here soon.
So next we move into Mitchell Chimino. 6 hand size 30 health, chaos, good, order. Response once per turn after you view a card, add it to your momentum. Response after you spend one of momentum, remove them and add those cards to your hand at the start of the end phase and commit one foundation after the attack is played. It gets +1 or -2 speed and +1 or -1 to one of its keyword ratings. I think this is an absolutely solid character. We saw Mitch playing himself at Glasgow. I've played a lot of Mitch at the beginning of the year. I loved getting things like Mighty Blitz as a powerful 5, utilizing things like Coemba's Task. This is possibly the best character we've got for Coemba's Task at the moment. The symbols, especially now Good, is starting getting a lot more support. Have been really popping off. And I think with tension, this only gets stronger because usually you have to work a bit harder to get the yellow and purple abilities off. Mitchell has them ready to go from turn 2.
Yeah, or turn 1 if he's going second,
Yeah,
because you do get a review step going second.
well, no, but
Um,
you don't get attention if you go on turn 2 if you go second.
no, but the momentum at least will be
Yeah.
live. Um, of my losses in Louisville, I think the Mitchell Cimino loss was the most aggravating.
Oh.
I think that's the one where I felt like I had the most trouble. I think all of my other losses were just either Hanji blowing me out of the water because there's just no way I could deal all that damage, or then there was Mitchell who was like, and I feel like there's got to be a way for me to make it through here, but I'm just not seeing it because he can move all of these cards wherever he needs to, and that's really really strong.
Mm,
I would put him possibly an A
mm.
because we are seeing a lot more use for momentum now, like with tension. Um, and at least until March, he still has access to the review stuff for like uh the
The lurkers,
lurkers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But who
mean,
knows? Maybe we'll get more review support in the future. We know that April reviews a card,
yeah.
even though she does nothing with it. So who knows if Mitch Cimino might be getting some new stuff in the future. But I do think just the ability to store cards into your momentum and then take them back to your hand at the start of the end phase, so you kind of sculpt uh, as you need because you can just figure out when you spend things. Um, yeah, I think that's really really good.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues that characters have, especially when now we see things like Titan Cliff and stuff go, is being stuck with their hand. Titan Cliff gave you a partial mulligan. Deus Ex Machina gives you a selective mulligan, but it's a 2 check. Mitchell Cimino doesn't have that issue of bricking as much because any attack that hits goes to momentum. And if you can utilize momentum spending through tension, through foundations, through actions in your opponent's turn, you get to stock your hands back up. This also means that he's less likely to review cards, to recycle cards, meaning that he's going to be able to play a longer game utilizing the cards he's already got, which means he can have a slim deck that doesn't review anywhere, doesn't cycle anywhere near as much, and can always have consistent answers to problems. The symbols are very strong, and also just be able to go on your opponent's turn, going, your powerful's getting weaker, your breaker, not breaker, but yeah, your uh, stun's going to get weaker. Your powerful, your EX is going to get weaker. Any new keywords we see, whilst also be able to increase his own and going, cool. My breaker 2 is now breaker 3. My stun 2 is now stun 3.
Well, I don't think this is gonna work on Breaker because it says attack, not
Okay,
attack
yeah,
card.
yeah. So yeah, but yeah,
But yeah,
my
the
stun,
the
my
guy I was
powerful,
playing against was definitely playing Walk the Dogs with powerful 4 and
yeah.
an additional speed, and that's kind of harsh.
I also love
And
Mitch
then he was just
Smino because
loading his momentum with defensive things to pick up after he powerful.
I also love Mitchell Smino because I get to play one of the most underrated cards in the game at the minute when I play Mitchell, which is the Inventor's Creation, because it picks up all the keywords of a card you remove from your discard, which means if you get rid of a Mighty Blitz, a Walk the Dog, you get to go, cool, here's a low attack with powerful 4. And they go, oh, That's a thing. You go, yes, yes, it is.
Yep, that's really good. Yeah, I'd say he's an A. Just for the flexibility that his abilities give him.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So there you go, Mitch. You're now in A. William Anderson the third. 7 hand size, 22 health, death, fire, life with enhancements per turn. Add one ready foundation from your stage to your hand. Your rival flip one rival foundation with the same printed difficulty as the foundation you added to your hand this way. And once per turn, sacrifice 2 face up foundations. Build the top 2 cards of your deck face down. Yeah, I mean, I played this on Death, utilizing things like enormous arcs. A lot of the attack on type stuff that says if it's sacrificed, you get to build in. You can really ramp up to double digit foundations very quickly with this character. And the selective put back in hand forces you, lets you know what your blocks on your opponent's going to have, and allows you to really pop off, especially if you've got face downs where you can put a face down back in your hand and go, cool, pick, you get a face down or a zero diff foundation back to your hand.
If you build a bunch of tax face down, you're having to once per turn pick up a ready face down and
Hmm.
not get a flip just to get an attack. Um,
With this one,
I
damage
don't
is coming
know.
from damage in things like battle or release is very powerful because it's pretty much always going to have the 4 damage. But yeah, having a stage full of face down foundations can be a bit of an issue.
That Yeah, because then as a seven hander, you have no defense, and that's kind of rough.
Well, similar to like the Jacob thing of the if you commit to face ups, you can blow them up to build 2 ready face downs. That can help you quite a
True,
lot.
but you don't have any defensive abilities for like minus speed, minus damage.
Yeah,
If you have a stage full of face downs, it's hard to really progress. Yes, you're building a lot, but then if you have a stage full of face downs, your character's kind of blank.
yeah. Generally, the idea of what I found with William Anderson is to utilize ruin. You're doing a lot of flipping. You're doing a lot of stuff that you basically flipping their foundations with the top enhance, and you're just ruining them. And you can play big 4 check attacks, similar to what Will played against Garrett Brett at Albuquerque. You can utilize the big 4 check, these big damage attacks that already have on face, and go, you don't have enough foundations to stop me because I've been ruining your stage.
Possible.
I'm not
I
I'm not like overly hyped on the character. I think the character is definitely solid, but I do think
this was definitely the first one that when the character as revealed as a character that I was like, I'm not exactly on board for this one. I did a stream build with him, just to try to get my feet under myself on him, and I kind of struggled a little bit because I do feel like you are stuck in like the death trying to build out my own foundations and stuff. Maybe life trying to pick up face down foundations, but it definitely feels a little rough. I'd say a C or a B personally.
I
Nothing against William Anderson the
no.
third, but this is definitely the character I was the least impressed with when I first saw it.
Will is an absolutely solid human being and an absolutely amazing player. I've played against him a couple of times, but I think compared to the other 3 characters we've already done, I think C is possibly the right place for him to go.
Yeah, it's not saying that it's a bad card. It's just with what we have on hand right now, I don't see this being particularly powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something I just haven't cracked yet, but it's not something that grabs my attention personally.
So now let's go over to Garrett Brett number 6, 7, 8, 9, one of them. Uh,
I want to say 7. I want
uh,
to say this is Garrett Brett 7.
Garrett Brett, 6 hand size, 27 health, evil void, form once per turn, gain 1 health, unflip 1 foundation, enhance once per turn, add 1 card from your rival's discard pile to their card pool. So you get to stuff the card pool at once per turn, during your turn, and during your rival's turn. We're basically going, stop hitting me. You're going to be playing with increased aggressive. Very cool. Gain 1 health on unflipping 1 foundation. We've seen this with the kamikaze robots. You're able to really just loop tricky mechazoids opponents. You can utilize a lot of cool aspects on Void and Death by being able to just
Void and
keep
evil.
popping off. What? Void, so
It's
yeah.
void and evil.
Void, some great things on Void and Evil where you're just able to keep unflipping very cool. Because this isn't the first form, so you could go in with something that, like Botans, as an example, on Void, and then unflip it to utilize it again. There's some very cool things you can do here, as well as with Hacker Extraordinaire still being on. If someone flips your asset, being able to unflip it and go, yeah, it's back, let's go.
Yeah, I really dig this character. And Garrett Brett was doing 2 symbol characters before it was cool,
Yeah.
because one of his other champ cards was like good and all
Do you know
back
the
in the day
so? Do you know the
before.
story behind that?
Yeah, he had won so many characters that he had every single symbol on at least one of his characters, and he decided for his second go around he would only do 2 symbol characters just
Yeah,
to mix it up,
exactly. The
and
only
that's flipping
the
hilarious.
only downside to me for this, which makes me kind of sad, is the fact that he's a 627. In the current state of 6 hand sizes, it's very squishy. But Garrett Brett
Yeah, he's very
insisted.
fair.
He insisted on being a 27. They offered him more, and he was like, "No, I want to be 27. Let's go."
Yep, he's a very fair boy.
Yes, and I think that might hurt him in a tier list. I think he's got very good control symbols. I think the fact that we have a evil character that gains health is very against symbol identity.
Yeah. Um, I do like that that form is not a first form because I built him with Rando's Spirit Gun, so I could use that form twice per turn and use the enhance twice per turn.
Yeah,
So I could just clog my rival's card pool for 2 on my turn and gain 2 health and unflip 2 foundations. So that's a pretty good trick to play on evil.
no, that's pretty solid. I think this is
I would say he's probably a B.
ooh, but
Yeah,
even though
I
he
don't see him as an
lost,
A.
even though he lost to William
Hmm?
Anderson in the exhibition match, you're gonna put him above William Anderson.
Yeah, he excites me more because he can unflip things like fighting for control every turn.
I'm gonna put him above Nick just because he hasn't been errated yet.
Exactly. I think the main things that hold him back are his symbols hadn't gotten a lot of love lately, and he's a low hand size or low health for a 6 hand size these days.
Hmm.
He's pretty fair from the olden days, but these days he's very fair. Uh, and I think just you don't get a lot of unflip off of like unless you're like on the earth symbol. So I think having these symbols which have a lot of control pieces that flip, being able to unflip them is really something that strikes my fancy.
That's fair.
And I
Yeah,
love the inception that he keeps doing with some of his cards where it's him looking at his old champ card, which is him looking at his other champ card.
I want
Just the inception here is
I want
hilarious.
Garrett Brett to win a regionals next year, just so he, even though it's banned for him to go 9 titans throughout time, and just have it be him and all his character cards behind him.
Would that wouldn't be Garrett Brett 9 at that point. But yeah,
No,
it would be funny if they just used all the different arts and they just kind of spread them out behind him.
yeah. So it's the Garrett Bretts throughout time.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's move on
get
to
on it, Garrett.
Cardboard Crusaders. 2 difficulty, 2019 national team champ, 2 mid block, 4 control, unique air earth order. When you play this
Interesting
card, if you
spread.
have fewer foundations than your rival, build it, which means that it's going to be pretty cool to if you go second or after an attack turn, you can get it in for your
Or
first attack.
into or if you're playing Earth Mimic.
Like playing of Mimic. Response: after you play an attack, it gains +3 speed or +3 damage going once per turn. And response remove: after your rival plays their first attack of the turn, seal it. It cannot leave the card pool during the combat phase. Now we've just seen Mikasa take down a regionals and locking a card in their card pool would have really helped against that.
Yep. Both Mikasas. I saw Mikasa one putting in work in the top 8, I believe,
Yes.
but just wasn't able to clinch it out. But they were clearing their card pool all over the place. Mikasa for Hizuru's Hope is obviously trying to clear their cards from their card pool. Back when Pony was an issue, this was absolutely going to stop Pony. And I do love the flexibility of just once per turn, this is going to get +3 speed or damage, just whatever I'm needing at the time.
Yeah.
I think is a really good flexible ability there. And you can build this on block if you have less foundations than your rival.
Yeah, it's like a pseudo soup.
Yes, a pseudo soup.
Talking about things you can also do on block. If you block with this and it's a complete block, you could build it in an aerial Kokosho and get +3 speed or +3 damage.
You absolutely could do that
And then go, cool.
because then it'll get the +2 speed, so it could be a 9 high 7 or a 6 high 10.
Yeah. And that's the kind of impact attacks in your opponent's turn should have. This thing of, you actually need to deal with this attack now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good. I find the symbol spread interesting. You don't often see like air and earth on the same card, uh, but I do like this symbol spread, and I think it's going to be really cool to see what people try to do with it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because some decks are like I got all this damage, but I just need the speed, but I'm off symbol because I'm playing an earth deck, and earth doesn't have a lot of speed. This can just give random 3 speed, or I'm an air deck. I've got all the speed, but not the damage. This can just give you the damage.
Yeah, and it also gives you some good lockout, like I said. Just be able to seal an attack. So if you want to keep your backups around, be able to seal a animus shot, which is going to be very cool. Be able to seal a rumbling and unyielding. Just be able to
Yeah,
stop these
stealing and yielding
abilities.
is pretty good.
And then, of course, the fact that can't leave the couple, very cool. Yeah, I think this is absolutely solid. I don't think it's a auto include, but could
No, but it definitely is like I'd say sideboard minimum because if you're on these symbols and you're worried about people clearing their card pool, or you find in your first game just like, man, I just needed a little bit more damage to push me over the edge, I could see siding this.
the fact it auto builds in on when you play it, as long as you have less foundations, which if you're going second, a lot of times you are going to have. The fact it's a mid block, which means you can always kind of pop it off. I could see this being a low A, high B.
I can see it being a low A. Like I said, it's got a lot of good flexibility, which I think is where you want your assets to be. I do see like a lot of team assets are like, well, this is kind of what our team kind of did, so it's gonna kind of gel with our team.
Yeah.
But having just very flexible abilities on your assets offensively and defensively, especially for champ assets, I think is really cool, especially if they're not too overpowered.
Plus, it gets extra points for having a hedgehog on it.
Yeah, that hedgehog is adorable.
Speaking of adorable hedgehogs, Ashley
Oh,
Fullerton.
we're not talking that's look, look. I had a video breaking down all of these champ cards on my channel, and I had to apologize to Ashley at the beginning of the video because I'm like, I know you're a wonderful person. I've met you, you're great, but you fucking terrify me in this art. And yeah, you look like you're about to sell my kidneys on eBay. I'm sorry. It's just
I'm happy
I'm
with.
not okay with this.
I'm actually. I think this is very in like I've played against Ashley in games. This is very much how you feel playing against Ashley in a game. That at any point you could lose your life, and that's a
I
small.
have not played against Ashley. I will say that. I've played against Keenan Meadows, and that's kind of what I felt like. I felt like I was fighting for survival, but
There you go.
man, Ashley's just so sweet to talk to, and she's so nice and so upbeat. And just to see this is like, holy
Oh yeah, no,
shite.
it's kind of like a JoJo situation because Ashley is one of the nicest people you'll ever feel, but it feels like an overlooming presence of pressure when you play against it because it's just such good plays. Like I'm gonna die and I'm gonna be mocked by a cartoon raccoon. I had to apologize to Ashley because I thought that was a raccoon. It's a hedgehog.
Yeah. Uh, I will say she did win this champ card playing one of my most hated characters back in the day in 2019 with Lord Raptor 2,
Oh
a
yeah.
character that I decided before it got banned that I was going to take it to a regional with the intent on getting it banned.
So Ashley has
And I built a nasty deck that could like breaker 7 people every turn. It was awful.
Ashley has your attack, build the top card of your deck face down. Your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. And then Tenacious sacrifice one foundation. After an attack is played, it gets +2 and -2 speed. So we're starting to see a lot more response speed hate, but that's also because we're seeing a lot more stuff happening before enhances. So with things like the Rumblings Deadlock, this would be a good thing to have because it gives -2 speed before the doubling.
Yeah. Um I also don't know if you said she's a 721 and she's got air, death, and water.
Yep. So if you've got that beautiful aerial Kokosho, you can slam it in, and if you are feeling very saucy, you could go breaking. So you could commit, add one in, go breaking, ready her up, and go. Do I have an aerial Kokosho or don't I? Let's find out in your turn.
Yeah. That is something I've been putting work into with Ashley because I do like that it is your attack, not your turn. So you can do aerial Kokosh and be like, cool, I'm gonna stuff your card pool on your turn and chuck minimum 7 damage at you.
I can get a foundation in
But
your
also
opponent's turn.
just using her with breaking to build 2 on my turn and
Yeah.
stuff you on my turn too, while I'm going in for a kill turn can be really, really good.
I like how I've just given away the spice of your Ashley Fulton deck without actually meaning to.
I talked about it in the video that I was going over the newer champ cards anyway. So it's all good.
I know Sadir from the trading post has been absolutely up on Ashley Fulton. I got to play against Ashley Fulton as part of my regionals prep because once I got hold of the Sun Jiwoo cards, I wanted to have a couple of games. I went against Ashley, very impressive, very powerful. That ability to sacrifice foundation on death and water is very strong, especially when you take into fact that, especially when you take into account the fact that with attuned, that's going to be very cool. Cardpool stuffing with support on water and air with things like Legendary Bandit, Ray Fillet, going to be very, very powerful. Yeah, she's got the -2 speed for defense, but it does come at the cost of sacrificing the foundation. But she's a bit more solid defensively than we've seen on a couple of these characters.
Yeah, especially on a 7-hander, she actually has, -2 speed as opposed to -1. And her ability is tenacious. So if your rival commits her, or if you committed her to try to go in on a kill turn and you whiff, you still have access to your defensive ability.
Or if you
She does
committed her
have
to
death,
her ability,
or if you committed her to her ability on your turn.
or your opponent's turn.
Yeah, if you played the Erika
Yeah,
Kosho. She also gets a lot of the death attune stuff that pops off when it hits the discard pile.
yeah.
Uh,
It's,
unless it's like during the enhance step, but some of the stuff like enormous axe, which builds if it's sacrificed. You can just build in ready resources after giving an attack +2 damage and +2 speed and +4 damage.
big shout out to Venetator 504 and Blanche Wright for subbing while we're going over this. If you've got any thoughts on these characters, let me know. I could definitely see Ashley being played at Worlds. I think she's had enough
Yeah,
time to kind of be,
especially by Ashley herself.
especially Ashley herself. That would be absolutely nuts if all the champs showed up playing their own characters to Day Tour Worlds. That'd be so cool.
That would be absolutely really neat. I know that in the past the company said they don't want champ cards to win champ cards, uh, which is why Tim Keefe 2 was eroded because that dude was just way too good. But yeah, I could see her being an A tier character because she's got the flexibility. I think these symbols really work with a 7-hander. So you get a quick early build, you sacrifice, you can rebuild, and as a character, her ability, she can rebuild as well.
What
And I think she can really take advantage of that.
what I would love to see happen at Worlds is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 printed characters at the minute. If you take into account Broadway, that's eight. That's enough for an eight-person tournament between the brand new champ cards.
Ooh, a battle of champions as like a kind of like a side event exhibition.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a cool side of it as always. Like, oh yeah, everyone plays a different champ card, and you just get to and you face off to see who the best champ is. But
Yeah, but I would want the pilots to be the champs themselves,
yeah,
just because I feel like you get the best of what they were thinking, and that sounds like something that should be on next year's UK versus itinerary. Host a champ exhibition match where like each champ has to like you have a bracket and they get to play each other on either TTS or webcam and they just submit the videos to you and you just post them up and then you move the bracket along.
I mean I could that would be pretty decent. I think it works better in person, but I mean I can ask them if they're up
True,
for
but
it.
these people are all over the world. That's a little hard to do.
I mean they're all in America, right?
I don't know. I don't know these people.
Well, I think Ashley, uh, easy A,
Easy A,
but
which was a decent
wearing
movie.
A.
Actually, no, it wasn't a decent movie. That movie
No,
was kind of
Easy A is not a good movie.
no. I wanted to I wanted to do it because I like Emma Stone as an actress, but that movie was just dumb. But yeah,
Oh,
A for Ashley.
A for Ashley, but at the top of A, at the mid of A, at the bottom of A.
I don't know. I can't see. I can't see your screen, so I don't know how you're doing all of this.
So Mitch is currently at the top of A, followed by Yeetus Letus, and then followed by Back to On. Is that Back to On? No, that's not Back to On. By Crusaders.
Hmm. I would put her between Mitch and Yeetus.
I'm gonna put it at the top of A, controversially, for the art. I prefer Ashley's art to Mitch's art.
You know, it's hard to fault you on that because that art is effective.
Yeah. If you sit across from Mitch, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. If you sit across from me, I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, nah, sorry. If Ashley plays against me and it's actually her character, I might just scoop because I know if I look at her, it's just going to be like a JoJo stand of just the nurse standing behind her with an evil looking hedgehog on her shoulder, and I'm not about that life.
The best thing is, though, she could turn up to an event wearing like a standard blue nurse outfit and just say she enter the cosplay competition as herself. And how are you gonna
She
how
could, but she better have a plush hedgehog on her shoulder when she does it.
no, you just get Keenan to dress up as a hedgehog next to her.
Keenan, if you're watching this, I have a mighty need.
You, you have a need to see Keenan as a hedgehog.
With Nurse Ashley, absolutely. He could be the hedgehog nurse to her sadist nurse, and that'll be hilarious. And they would win the cosplay contest instantly. I don't care how many professional cosplayers show up to it. That will win.
More than
And when they
likely,
ask,
yeah.
"Why did you pick this costume?" She just pulls out her character card out of like the pocket on her scrubs. Because it's me.
Oh, so Blanche came second with the Annie 2 deck that they played. Yeah, I like Ashley's animal companion as well, Venator. It's very cool. And Ashley has agreed to do an interview about the card, and it's just the end of year is very hectic. So I'm gonna hopefully I need to quickly message Ashley again and get some sort out for beginning of next year. But now we have the last character of the list in Mark Tyner, 6 hand size, 30 health, 2020 world champion. This is a long ass piece of text, not as long as Nick Reagan, but this got changed, didn't it? So let's get the actual.
Uh, kind of. If you want, I've got it pulled up. I can take over this one.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
All right, so Mark Tyner, he's a 6 hand size, 30 health character. He's got all evil and order for his symbols. He's got 2 static abilities, the first of which is while exactly 2 copies of a unique foundation are in your stage, they have this foundation cannot be sacrificed due to unique abilities. So you're allowed 2 copies of any unique ability or of any unique card in your stage as long
Foundation.
as it's a foundation.
Yeah.
which thankfully it says foundation. Uh, it has another static that says this card cannot be sealed, which when you're breaking the game, that's a good thing to have.
Now,
Is-
before we get into the abilities, does this card still need this? Because with the May like deck building rules, could you extend that to this, or is it because May is on the deck
Yes,
building side and this is on the stage side?
this is on the stage side, not the deck building side. So I think this needs it because if you seal it and you have two unique foundations, one of them goes away.
And then you'd have to,
So
but the main issue with that is you'd have to, because of the new unique ruling, it would be the newest one had to come on, and you could get some kind of jerky shout to go. Well, we don't know which one is the new one, so technically it's
yeah.
a repairable game state.
So yes, having
Meh.
this not be sealed is good.
Yeah.
He's got two responsibilities. First of which is twice per turn, commit one unique card. After a player makes a check to play a non-foundation card, that check is +2 or -2. And then response after your rival fails a check, gain 1 health. This man is going to be nightmarish to play against,
Yeah, because
much
that's
like the player himself.
ooh, not a fan of
Hey, I
Mark
played
Tyler.
Oh, I love Mark Tyner, but he got one of my favorite characters banned, which might not be his fault because it was one of the attack cards in the deck that got eroded when Gil got banned. That was the main problem. But no, he played a character in the world tournament where I faced him called Shinnok, who has a static says your abilities cannot be canceled.
Oh,
So revoke didn't work. Any sort of response to cancel abilities didn't work. And he just ran people the fuck over. But also, think about this. You have to fight through if he's playing on order, you have to fight through Eidenbox and two moments of normalcies.
yeah.
That's not fun.
I mean, if you even get that far, if you're playing on all and you run, say, the Sun Jin Woo shift attacks, you can have an Igris, a tank, an Iron Down. All are unique backups that you can then commit to go. You get -2 to your check. All
Yep.
the
Any
you,
sort of assets that you don't need,
yeah, unique
you
other
can
unique
or that have
backups.
tenacious abilities.
Yeah, because that
My favorite trick is going to be on evil to run what was that foundation that we had on it was like King of the Cosmos or something. It was one of the
yeah, the
it's
one
a
that makes
unique
you scan a
foundation
card,
from
remove a card.
Ghidorah that makes them remove a card from their
Yeah,
hand. I could commit that on your turn to give you -2 to your check, and then on my turn, I'm removing both of them to remove the last two cards in your hand.
yeah,
Same
exactly.
with like Golden Death. So this dude is gonna rip hands apart. Monster Zero, that's what
Most
it's
of them, yeah,
called.
yeah. The fact
So
that
I
the
think again, moving
static,
forward,
yeah, I'll you go.
yep. I was gonna say, moving forward, this is another one where he's gonna lose a lot to rotation. He's gonna lose a
Yes,
lot of unique abilities. But this guy gets to take a look at every single unique card and be like, how much can I benefit from having two copies of that in my stage at once
well, like you said, two
for
moment of normalcies.
foundations?
Two moment of
Yeah.
normalcies is
Two,
going to be absolutely solid.
oh yeah. So I think this dude is going to be really hard to play against because, like I said, if he doesn't need the abilities on those unique cards during that turn, he can turn them into check hacks, and then if your rival fails the hack, uh, you gain health. If they fail a check to block, you gain health. If they just start building after an attack string and fail, you gain health. So he's a 30 health character that's going to increase his health a lot, and that twice per turn can end the combat phase.
Yeah,
So that's also really tricky. If he times that right, you can be like, cool, -2 to that check. Sorry, this will end your combat phase.
that's a very retro thing to have as well. It's been a while since we've seen a responsibility in score. I know when I was playing the Dabby, I was playing things like uh, having to repay the debt, and I was like, "Cool, your next shit gets smashed." I was like, "But failing to end turn, no, failing at end turn. We're playing retro rules here. You don't get your hand
Yeah.
held."
Yeah, so sadly, he's going to lose a lot of the check hacking stuff with rotation except for I think What's it called?
One thing I would say
The
that people do remember is this, like, you cannot commit terrains to his ability because terrains are not unique. They have their own separate thing.
correct. That is correct.
So the big
Um,
question is, seeing as he loses a lot with rotation, do you expect to see him at Worlds?
yes, I would expect to see him at Worlds because he still has some pretty cool stuff to do. Like, let's just look at unique foundation on these symbols in standard. Oh, he works really well with King of Illyria
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
because you can commit it, add it to your hand if you've played its tension ability because it has tenacious
And just keep
to then
debuilding your
debuild your
opponent.
rival. Yeah, just dumb as heck. Citywide Crisis is a unique foundation that has a tenacious enhance to return something to printed speed, so that's really good. Let's see, what else do we have here?
There's loads of stuff he can get pop off with. Uh,
He can run two incompatible quirks.
two to
He can
go
commit
dominance.
Yeah, so he can commit that to give -2 to your check and then remove a foundation to ready it again.
Yeah.
So that's pretty strong. Taguro dominance, Uratogi expertise,
Uh,
warped pleasure.
two
He could
for
just
two forced quirk activations.
Yep, monster 0, which is good.
Yeah, no, I think
Uh
he's going to be absolutely solid. He, like I said, does lose a lot with rotation, but the fact that being able to utilize these do nothing uniques in my opponent's turn, like if I've got backups or assets that don't usually do anything in my opponent's turn, turn them all into essentially a pseudo breaker two is very powerful. House of Cards, as Blanche says, House of Cards is a very powerful card that's about to rotate.
yep. He can play Colossal Confrontation, and when he shifts in a second one, sure, they're a first form ability, but after that they're pretty blank, so you can use those for your check boosting or check hacking. And
Exactly.
you get to search any card from your deck, and you get Ruin 3.
Yeah, if there was a foundation that was in play that said commit this, your opponent's check gets -2, it would be one of the most played foundations in there. So the fact that this
Yeah,
is,
so
I think he's an absolutely solid character. Uh, the question is S or A, I guess.
I honestly I want to put him in S.
Ooh,
I think this dude has a lot of cool moves and just the ability to change the fundamental way the game works. This character actively breaks the rules. And a lot of the times when a card is unique, it's because that card has a very powerful effect. So you shouldn't be allowed. Imagine if this allowed you to run 2 Iden box and 2 military
yeah.
airships. That's the only reason this dude says foundation.
Also, no, I think also the reason he says foundation is because imagine if you could run uh, two of the backups as well.
Yeah, backups that you then wouldn't worry about the unique rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this dude is really, really strong.
Yeah, no, I think that's an absolutely
Like
solid
you
list.
could commit anti-Titan artillery, which has a tenacious ability. So again, any unique that has a tenacious enhance or response, or just something you don't need in any given
Yeah.
turn, you can just commit it for check hacking that can end turns. And I think that's really, really strong.
Oh, 100%. I think it's absolutely solid.
So I would definitely put him in S.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, this is our champ tier list based on 2025 standard. Nick Reagan got a bump up to B because of that amazing start to the year he had. Unfortunately, the errata did hit him pretty hard. And unfortunately, as we lose more and more enhances, he's just going to get weaker and weaker, unfortunately. But yeah, Mitchell, absolutely solid ability, has answers to his own abilities on face. Ashley, absolutely terrifying and dominating art, followed by terrifying and dominating abilities. Absolutely solid tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But we're going to move on to the next tier list, which we're probably going to have to go through quite quickly because it took us an hour and a half to every 10 cards. But
I'm very opinionated.
this is fair because we're now going to talk about product. Cam will not be here next week, so you'll see him in the new year. But I'll be back next week with a massive quiz about everything Universus. Feel free to join in and see if you can beat the teams. For theories, news, and more, win, lose, or draw, we are UK Versus, and we'll see you at game night. Bye.
Au revoir.